A world filled with war, murder, racists, Asians, poor people, and other horrifying beasts. This is Kenshi. I mean, the game punishes you for absolutely everything. Pick the wrong race? Well, you're screwed. Too poor? Well, we don't care. Too rich? Hell, you're going in the bin. Being the wrong race again. I've come to notice that it's a very race-focused game. It's like a sandbox for autistic masochists. In this decrepit lifelike simulation of Romania, it is hard to overcome anything, because everything, alright, wants a piece of that ass. So, I gave myself the little challenge of conquering the world of Kenshi without violence.
Don't need it.
Or at least I try to. What are the goals of this challenge? Well, as the game doesn't have an ending, it can't really be beat. But I've set some of my own personal goals in place to fix this. Make 1 million cats, visit every zone, make a base, and lastly, rescue all the slaves from a slave camp. And I have to do it all without violence. As always, before planning anything, or even seeing if this challenge is physically possible, I will create the most peaceful, harmonized, animal-loving, woman-protecting, incel-defending, war-ending specimen. I give you Sean Fungus. Now sure, Sean Fungus might not be the brightest, strongest, fastest. To be honest, he's actually not good at anything. At the moment, we're like a albino African trying to fit in France, which is not a good thing. So the obvious thing to do is start bumping up those stats. At least our running speed. As in Kenshi, your first priority is downloading good mods, and the second one is running away. How will we get better at running? Well, I'm gonna be running. But as I'm running, I'm gonna go to different ruins around the map where I can steal shit and train my lockpicking. This will make me an experienced triathlete with sneaky fingers and a big bulge. But I need to buy some food first. Before I use my insane knowledge of hidden techniques to boost my stats, I have to find a place to use as a base of operations. Maybe Fog Islands? Yeah, no, not happening. Maybe Gut? Maybe not. Fishman Isle? I decided to live with the hivers. Except for the bloody rain, acid water and interesting locals, it's actually pretty chill. So I took up a fat loan on a, I don't know, anthill maybe? And yeah, there are fucking webs everywhere. They didn't even clean it. The next step we have to do is research. A lot of research. So I will start by building this tiny little bench and obtain knowledge. I read and I read. Until I had to upgrade my bench to get more knowledge. The size does actually matter, guys. I don't know if there are any carpenters here, but I don't think that's properly leveled. But what can you expect from a fucking sludge house? Luckily, I have this insane maniac that keeps harassing me inside my own house. That just so happens to sell a lot of things that I actually need. So upgrading is no problem. But for real, you're a fucking creep. I read more and more and more until I was out of cash and needed this special funky artifact to continue my nefarious research. Hence why I set out to rob graves and harass women, but with peace. First to the Floodlands, as I have a sneaking suspicion that it has loot. On the road to glory, I found an ancient lab. I of course thought that, this is probably safe and not dangerous at all. I was wrong. Anyway, I safely, without trouble, made it to the Floodlands in one piece. Luckily, the first unknown building I approached was owned by a cute robot named Burr. He might have been very suicidal and depressed as well, because he made the insane choice, of joining the ugly, demented beast that he had just met. So I gave him a fitting name and recruited him. After that, I took everything he had. It's not like he'll be needing it, he's probably gonna die soon. And he was pretty stacked. With juicy loot and a side piece secure, I naturally started going home. Me and Bummy got beat up a lot. Like a lot. It's very hard to not get molested when you can't say no. Are we in some weird way consenting to this violence because we don't adhere from defending ourselves? That's not important to think about, because luckily we made it home safe and also found some missing ancient books. Now we can do more research. Yay. As I was researching, I spent a concerning amount of time studying the hivers. I came to the conclusion that they're kinda gay. After these scientific breakthroughs, I was finally ready to leave this fat turd of a home and cross one goal off the list by building a base. Bad news is that I've kind of already made a base in every single safe spot that carries no significant risk. Good news is that that was a lie and we're going to Flat Lagoon. So I set down the blueprints for my singular awesome building and went to the closest town, only to realize that they don't have a single fucking building material. So I went to the second closest town. Finally, after a very short but still depressing time in the swamp, I can start building my first non-organic home made from poo. And finally, I can start my journey of cheesing the game by using training dummies and gym equipment to get my stats up without any risk at all. Just imagine how long this would actually take if I had to play the game instead of doing whatever this is. What a gift it is to have mods. But there is one stat that remains, which you simply cannot train with a dummy. Okay, Bummy, this is it. The last stat. Now, listen closely. You see those scrawny homeless people? I'm gonna force them to beat me up. Let's just say that they're gonna be beating on me for quite a while. After I don't know, okay time getting beat up, I have achieved a somewhat acceptable toughness stat. Now, we can move on to our next goal. Visiting every single fucking soul. Do you want to make some real money? Like if bread was a currency, you'd have a lot of dough. Well, listen closely. First, you want to head over to the settled nomads. Then, you want to go to their animal shop. After this, wait for it to become day. Or learn that you can actually just wake the guy up by storming inside. Then realize that you have the budget of a gay whore, but a lesbian gay whore. So, not a lot of cash to go around. At least I think so. I don't really know, I just can't imagine there being a lot of lesbians buying sex. I feel like there isn't the largest market for it, I guess. If you know something, say something, because this is now an active investigation. Jesus. Anyway, buy the smallest cow fucker thing you can and head home. Then, tear the organs and skin off a dead dog and sell it. To finally be able to afford a backpack for your retarded cow. Head to the swamp whilst you carry your thing, because it's small and fat and slow, then buy this, let's call it a type of highly addictive drug. Sell it for a lot, and repeat this process until you can laugh like a Russian oligarch. Then physically cross your last goal off your list, only to realize that you forgot about your last goal. The hardest part of this challenge: freeing and dismantling the largest slave camp in Kenshi without violence. Or at least I can't use violence. First step, go to the robot city to buy some gear. Second step, realize that you don't actually need any of their shit gear, so you buy a sword for Bummy to make yourself feel better, because of consumerism. Well, I'm gonna run around the map and gather up a lot of homeless alcoholics that are willing to put their life on the line for a very inconsiderable sum. After this, I make a box, and I put said alcoholics into the box. Then I wait. Wait for what, you ask? Welcome, Fart. Why is she in a slave camp? And why did I make her get enslaved? Isn't it obvious? She will slowly convert more and more slaves to join our cause by form of a militant uprising to overthrow their slave lords. Some will be afraid, and some will run and not have a good time. But slowly, I will accumulate more and more followers. Yeah, I got bad news. Firstly, our mercenaries somehow escaped my box. This is bad because they were the main part of our liberation, as they were gonna do all the heavy lifting. But good news, I still got this little guy. On the other hand, Fart lost her other hand. And be honest, if you were a starving slave in a heavily fortified military camp, would you listen to the slave telling you to escape when you just saw her try to escape and get her whole arm chopped off? Yeah, Fart's not really doing good either. No matter, I threw Bummy on Sean's shoulder and set out. You might be wondering what the plan is? Well, first, Bummy and Sean distract the guards. Then Fart takes her few followers and runs away towards freedom. Fart immediately lost her other arm, and she is now a walking, well, unconscious nugget. Sean then tried to free the slaves himself. Sean is now not doing good. Bummy got completely fucking mangled, and is not doing good. At this point, Sean had pretty swollen up ankles, so he couldn't really escape. But Bummy did not have swollen ankles, so he kinda just picked up Fart and ran. It wasn't that hard, actually. Eventually, they did make it to the hub where they were safe. This is where I made Bummy go back to save Sean. This was a mistake. Bummy is now slowly rotting away, as the Holy Nation does not own any robot repair kits to fix his swollen ankles. Since Sean has a questionable jawline, he was put in a cage, and combined with his he could never again attempt to escape, as the Holy Nation does not own any ice packs. But the story does have a happy ending, as Fart ran far away and opened a hospital to fix swollen ankles. I'm kidding. She died.